Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it! So here's what you get. From Canada, Ryan and Ruban.
Welcome to the worst of the best podcast.
Thanks. Thank you.
It's a live broadcast.
Yes.
So we always start live, and then I take that live video audio and I edit it for iTunes. So if you're listening to your earbuds, welcome. If you're watching this video live on our Facebook feed, welcome. And let's get into it, Ruben. Today is the worst of the best 10 lab mistakes that became everyday items. So these were what they call a happy accident.
Yes. Happy accident in the lab.
So unlike children, these are happy accidents. Like that? All right. I'm just joking. I love my children.
Stuff like this, I think, is very interesting.
What do you mean?
Well, you set out to do one thing, nothing happens.
Right.
Okay, that's all of life. But then it turns out to be something maybe good.
Ruben, was there anything Ruben, in your life that became maybe a happy accident? Something you set out to do or wanted to do, but it became something...
My career.
Okay.
My family had plans. They fell through. We went to... Hey, let's go to where I now work. And I was there, and I was like, man, I wish I thought of this. The owner said, hey, we're retiring. Happened on that day. That's kind of a happy accident, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, okay.
Like the course of life changed.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the closest thing, if I had to come up with an example, that's the closest thing I could think of. Is something that I was going one way, but something else happened.
It's not like I answered questions on the test, got them wrong, because I didn't study, and then magically got them all right.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So these are a little bit specific, though. These are actually items, everyday items. So everything on this list you will know of, I've heard of, and if not, we've all used.
All right.
So it's interesting that they weren't made on purpose. So that's what makes this list interesting, is this was not the intention of the product that we enjoy all the time.
These are failures.
These are failures, yes. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Non-stick cookware, Ruben. This was an accident.
Yes.
Did you know this? I think this one I did know about.
I did not know that, but I'm just aware of the health risks for Teflon.
Yeah, sure. Well, Teflon, or PTFE, as it is known in the scientific world, would have to rank as one of the most useful kitchen inventions.
Sure.
However, polytetrafluoroethylene
I always call it PTFE for short.
Okay. Was actually invented by mistake. In 1938, when DuPont scientist Roy Plunkett was developing a new CFC refrigerant. So he was sawing open a gas canister used in his experiments. So he's sawing open a gas canister, which I wouldn't recommend sawing open.
No.
But he was.
He's a scientist. That's okay.
That's right. He discovered a reaction had occurred between the PTFE gas and the iron shell of the canister. The result was a waxy, repellent substance for which he initially saw no use for. He's like, the substance came out of this, cracking open this combination. He's like, okay. But it wasn't until 1954 that anyone thought to coat cookware with that substance to stop food from sticking to pots and pans.
Wow.
This is what I find crazy. This is probably something you wouldn't want to just put in your mouth and ingest. Is that right?
Yeah. It's linked to like cancer, smaller genitalia, to name a couple.
But most cookware today is used.
Yeah.
Or coated with a variety of Teflon. So maybe they have practices today. Maybe there's some sort of protection.
Perhaps, yeah.
I can imagine when the substance first came out and they put it on a frying pan. Hey, look, honey, I can cook eggs on this thing.
Oh, yeah. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. We've all enjoyed it.
Ruben, have you ever used a Post-it note?
I use them every day. I have those colors and many more at work.
Did you know that 50 billion of these are made every year?
I was unaware of the number.
50 billion.
But I'm not surprised.
Well, 50 billion are made and then disposed of. Like, there are piles and offices and cabinets.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Post-it notes would have to be one of the most useful items that people use today. And you just said that. Yeah. And I use them all the time at work, too. They're great to say, sign here or attention to this or something like that. Sure. A reminder on your computer screen. Mm-hmm. You often put them on a coworker's screen. You can put them on their screen and say, hey, go see so-and-so. They came by to see you.
There's lots of uses.
But this is a really interesting one. This was developed by mistake. Dr. Spencer Silver was a chemist working for 3M, some company 3M, in 1968. His research into he was trying to do research into a super strong glue.
Yeah.
But it failed. He came up with a very weak adhesive that would only stick things together for a short time, and basically didn't do any damage when it was pulled off. It was sticky, just sticky enough to make a sticky stick, but
sure.
basically just could hold up a piece of paper.
Like, what a great failure.
Such a weak adhesive that you're looking at.
That's the strongest you can make.
It was. Where you can put paper on it. It'll hold up a piece of paper. Well, it wasn't until 1973 that the worth of this new adhesive was recognized. Arthur Fry, one of Dr. Silver's colleagues, began using this temporary glue to bookmark the pages in his hymnal. So he's using it for church, and I like this song here. So he'd use this. He'd take this adhesive, put it on paper, like
now
because he'd recognize you could tear it off without damage.
Not to get too deep here, but it took somebody else to see his mistake.
Well, that happened the first one.
Oh yeah,
the first one, the scientist made the mistake, didn't know what to do with it, and then somebody else came along 20 years later and said, I could do something with this mistake. Probably written in some notes or something.
Imagine the mistake right now.
I wonder if any mistakes I've made will become something. All right, Ruben, safety glass. Now you think, hasn't glass always been safe? Well, you think about glass.
No.
Think of it. Okay, your average glass in your cupboard or a mug is not safety glass. It hits the floor.
Smash.
It hits the floor. It's a million pieces.
Yeah.
Well, car glass used to be that.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird? So when windshields smashed, they smashed. They don't do that anymore. They kind of crack.
Yeah.
They hold together much better.
Yeah.
But you remember the old movies? People flying through windshields
Yeah.
and the scattering glass? Well, let's see how this was made by accident. So if we have French chemist Edouard Benedictus accidentally knocked a glass beaker onto the ground in 1903.
That's a few years ago.
Yeah, he was surprised to find that it shattered, but it did not actually break. So the cracking happened, but it didn't break. Because inside of it contained cellulose nitrate. There's a film of that inside the glass.
Oh.
So that's crazy. So he just so happened to knock over a beaker that had a film inside of it that was cellulose nitrate. And that cellulose nitrate was the stepping stone to figure out how to break glass without shattering it.
Well, you know it's going to break.
Yeah, there's a breaking point, but it won't. Those like cube pieces,
Yeah.
So this plastic coated glass was further developed during the early 1900s and was first used for lenses and gas masks during World War I, and then various forms of safety glass, and now it's in every car, building, cookware.
Man.
Yeah.
Edward.
Number 7, microwave oven. Now, Ruben, growing up, do you recall, Ruben, growing up? We never owned a microwave oven, and I used to think. No,
I thought it was just the rich people that had.
Yeah, no, it turns out everyone had. And we were by no stretch of the imagination like destitute, but we weren't going to Disneyland every year, but we weren't destitute. But we never, our family with 4 boys, never had a microwave to reheat anything. Now, I think the reason could be you could argue we never had leftovers.
That's true.
We ate every morsel of food on our table at supper time. Did we ever have leftovers?
We had powdered milk.
Yeah.
Do you remember we have to make 4 liters of powdered milk in the middle of supper sometimes?
Yeah, we have to make milk during supper.
During supper. Who's going to stir it?
Who's making milk? I made milk yesterday.
Making milk, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Can anybody relate to that other than relatives listening to this?
Yeah, I wonder if any of our listeners had powdered milk growing up. So not only did we have powdered milk, but we also did not have a microwave. I didn't have my first microwave or use it until, I don't know, I must have been close to 20. I can't remember the first time I used a microwave.
It was just like the friend's house.
Yeah. First time I drank milk out of a carton was at a friend's house. It was like a creamy, rich dessert.
Well, the first time I had milk was at the Hubbards, our aunts.
Yeah.
And I couldn't drink it. I was like, this is gross.
Yeah, we're like, oh, this is too thick. This is thick. I was like, it's 2%, brah. All right. So.
Microwave, how was this accidentally made?
Yeah, this was an accident. Percy Spencer, a radar engineer, was conducting experiments on a magnetron, a new vacuum tube, in 1945. So during the experiment, Spencer noticed that a chocolate bar in his pocket had melted. Yeah, the safety protocols back then.
Jeez.
So basically, he was getting radiated on his leg. So his chocolate bar melted. He grabbed some popcorn and, to his surprise, found that the magnetron also made the popcorn pop. What's crazy is Ruben, microwaves, did you know they're heating up? Moisture.
Oh, okay. So he was.
So my understanding is if you could put it in like something that's completely dry, like I don't know, a piece of paper maybe, it wouldn't be hot if there's no moisture. It heats the moisture in the item
Apparently, the mesh on the microwave glass breaks the radiation.
from coming out on you.
Yeah.
Oh, makes sense. So this poor guy, he was sacrificing his body for. So he had popcorn pop outside of. The radiation was in the room enough to make popcorn pop.
Jeez.
But he had accidentally stumbled upon a new way of cooking. Radiation, baby. So Raytheon marketed the new microwave oven as a Radarange in 1946, and the initial ovens were costly and too bulky for most kitchens. They were the size of a modern refrigerator and took 20 minutes to warm up before you could actually cook anything in them. Yeah, if you want to heat up last night's dinner in the oven, you had to heat up the oven. It took time. So here, you could have this heat up in 20 minutes instead of an hour or 45 minutes. But can you imagine the I'd be interested in YouTube, actually, of first microwave.
Well, imagine how rich those people would have been.
Oh, yeah.
If we thought other people had
Yeah.
money just having a microwave.
Yeah, in the 40s and 50s. If you had a microwave in 1950, oh, man, you could reheat last night's dinner in 20 minutes, like yesterday's pizza, man. Plastic, Ruben, was an accident.
Wow.
So, ironically, Ruben,
Where would the world be without plastic?
well, plastic was originally developed to protect wildlife by reducing the need for... Okay, so
That's hilarious.
you might have heard this before. Maybe some of our listeners have heard this before.
Okay,
But plastic was developed to protect wildlife by reducing the need for ivory, tortoise shells, horn, and other animal products, as well as minimizing the industrial use of our natural resources.
That's hilarious.
So, in 1869, John Hyde answered a New York firm's call to find a substitute for ivory billiard balls, and he found that combining cellulose, again...
billiard balls were made from ivory?
Yes, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, that's why it's a rich man's game.
Ooh, that's kind of gross.
Not anymore. Well, not legally anymore, but yeah. Elephant tusks were...
We're going to kill an elephant, chop off his tusks, and then...
and play pool.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah. So he found that combining cellulose derived from cotton fiber with camphor produced a substance which was flexible, strong, and moldable. His newly discovered celluloid could be used in manufacturing instead of animal byproducts. It was used for filmmaking. And then the new synthetic product would reduce the slaughter of animals for the use of their horns, tusks, and shells in manufacturing. Wow. So, chemical companies soon began researching and developing new plastics for every use imaginable, from wartime equipment to furniture, cookware, motor vehicles. The applications for plastic are endless. Given the origins of plastics, it is ironic they have become an environmental concern, with more people returning to natural produced products. So,
yeah, I'm going to be killing some more tortoises, elephants.
well, we try to recycle. We recycle our plastics, but there's been some arguments. They're saying that transporting paper takes more room, but with plastic they can squish into smaller. They can transport more plastic than they can paper. So ironically, it takes less emissions and natural resources to transport plastic than paper. So when they ask you paper or plastic, you should almost say plastic, because when you're done with all your plastic, it can be combined in such a small amount for a lot of... Whereas paper is harder.
Okay, I hear you.
It just, you can't win for trying.
No.
It's essentially, it's a...
Wow.
Yeah.
We're thinking about you animals, if any of you are listening.
At the very least, when they ask me paper or plastic, I always say, can you give me a elephant tusk?
Yeah.
All right, number 5, super glue.
Yeah, ironically, the guy that was making this was trying to make the weakest glue possible.
Yeah, I was going to say, this guy. Where was this guy when they're looking for the hardest glue? So in 1951, two guys, Henry Coover and Fred Joyner, were looking for a temperature...
Fred who?
Fred Joyner. And
Fred Joyner is working on glue? The
What?
joiner is a...
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's like...
and Harry Coover. But yeah, I got you. His name is Joyner. All right. But it's spelled Joy, Joy, but sure. So they were working for temperature-resistant coating for jet cockpits. After spreading the cyanocrylate between two lenses during scientific experiences, they were alarmed to find that they could not pull the lenses apart, which ruined expensive laboratory equipment. So they create this product. Again, it was to coat jet cockpits. So it's some sort of protective coating. But it turned out to be an adhesive that was so strong they couldn't pull it apart.
Temperature-resistant coating.
Yeah, that's right. Temperature resistant. That's right. Thank you. Oh yeah. So when they're in, the heat bounces off the cockpit. Okay. So it was then that they realized the potential for this glue, which almost instantly bonded two surfaces together. So super glue was first marketed in the late 50s and has become since a popular remedy for many small household repairs today.
I use it all the time.
Do you ever get super glue stuck in your fingers?
Yeah,
and you're like this.
Yeah.
You're like, and then it gets to the point where it starts pulling your skin. You're like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Stainless steel was an accident.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you recognize that building, Ryan?
Is that the EMP?
It is.
Yeah. Stainless steel is something we take for granted.
EMP is the Experience Music Project Museum in Seattle.
Built in 2000, or it was open in 2000.
We were there for the opening.
Yeah, we were there for the opening day, opening concert. Great show. Metallica, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Filter, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. I'm missing somebody.
Did you say Filter?
Yeah.
I think that was it.
It was a great show.
It was a fantastic
Probably
show.
one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
You know, that was the last time the Chili's wore the socks.
That's right, they did wear the socks.
That was the very last show.
And I didn't recognize John Frusciante as I should have. Like, I didn't appreciate him the way I should have.
Well, he really shined right after that as well.
I know. I didn't appreciate the way I should have. Okay.
Moving forward.
All right. So, in 1912, meteorologist Harry Brearley was experimenting to find a rust-proof gun barrel, but during his research, he added chromium to molten metals, and he eventually noticed that previously discarded metal samples were not rusting like other metals. So he's discarding stuff, and he's realized this stuff's not rusting. So, based in Sheffield, the home of silver cutlery, Brearley soon began marketing his rustless steel to cutlery manufacturers in place of the traditional silver or nickel-plated cutlery. You see that all the time, stainless steel, stainless steel, which always meant it can't rust.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Harry.
Thank you, Harry. No more silverware. It's not called. It should be called silverware. It's actual stainless steelware.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, bubble wrap.
I know this one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me.
This is what I believe I know.
Okay.
It was first invented to be wallpaper.
Okay.
And then failed as wallpaper. And then was used to be insulation. And then failed to be insulation. And then it was used to pack IBM computers.
What?
And then became an overnight success. Bubble wrap.
Wow. Ruban did this without looking at the... Let's see. And in 1957, scientists Alfred and Mark put 2 shower curtains through a heat shrinking machine in an attempt to develop a textured wallpaper. Good job.
Thank you.
The result was a sheet of plastic covered in tiny air bubbles. Their effort to use the product as a greenhouse installation also proved to be a failure. Mm-hmm. In 1960, IBM was looking for a way to protect delicate computer components during transport. Fielding and Chavanis cushioned plastic was the perfect solution to the problem. The usefulness of bubble wrap soon caught on, and it's the world's most common packaged material today. Ruben, I didn't have to read that. You did a great job.
You're welcome.
Cling wrap. We all love cling wrap.
Yeah.
This is often referred to as saran wrap. That's the branding.
Yeah.
But
like
cling wrap.
Kleenex and...
That's right. It's weird. But can you saran wrap that for me? Everyone knows what you're talking about, right? The sticky film saran was discovered in 1933 in the Dow Chemical Laboratories. Ralph Wiley was working in the lab developing dry cleaning products and discovered the substance when trying to clean used beakers. Another beaker. I guess all the stuff is made out of labs.
When was the last time you used the beaker, Ryan?
Oh, junior high.
Yeah.
Junior high beaker. I was so excited in science class.
Yeah.
When you got to turn on the Bunsen burner.
Oh, yeah.
You put the gas in. Dunk, dunk. You hear that?
Yeah.
Dunk, dunk, dunk. And it boosh. It was originally used as a protective spray in fighter jets, again, and in motor vehicles, and was even used in soldiers' boots. So saran wrap was introduced into household as a food wrap in 1953. Concerns about the chemicals in the film being in contact with food led to further research and the development of safer plastic films.
I like how safer is in quotations.
Yeah. This effectively wrapped up the array of plastic food packaging we use every day. It too was an accident.
Wow.
He found the substance while he was trying to clean used beakers.
Interesting.
Yeah. Number 1, I can't believe this, Ruben, but the safety pin was an accident.
How could that be an accident? I accidentally bent metal?
Probably. So here we go. In 1849, New York mechanic Walter Hunt was sitting in his office fiddling with a piece of wire as he tried to come up with a way to pay a $15 debt.
Oh, wow.
He found that he had successfully twisted the wire into a useful object. He could see how the item in his hands could be used as a pin. The piece of wire now had a coiled spring at the bottom. Hunt added a clasp to the top, allowing the pointy end of the safety pin to be secured at the top and preventing the users from being stabbed with the sharp end of the pin. A clever inventor, Hunt was unfortunately not a sharp businessman.
Oh, jeez.
A few years earlier, he had invented an eye-pointed needle sewing machine. He failed to patent his invention as he feared that it would cause people to lose their jobs. His design was later copied and marketed by others. While he did patent his safety pin invention, he sold the rights to the patent to the person to whom he owed the money.
Oh,
this poor guy.
Oh, jeez.
I feel. Talk about putting a pin in your future.
Hunt.
But yet, this is again a heart of gold. He had a $15 debt, and he's twiddling with metal, thinking, "How do I pay this guy back?" He invented a useful item that he thought people could enjoy and use, sold that patent for $15 to the guy he owed money to. That guy makes millions. And then he invented the sewing machine, but he didn't want people to lose jobs. Like a robot's taking over their hand sewing, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Rest in peace.
What a good man, Walter Hunt.
Walter Hunt,
my hat's off to you.
I feel terrible.
Every single time I use a safety pin, I will think of you, kind sir.
Yes, everyone.
You deserve a spot in heaven with
everyone to have a moment of silence. And everyone listening to this podcast, you have used a safety pin. This man was robbed. His family was robbed. Shame on those people. Shame.
Okay, not on the guy that he owed the debt to.
No, it's not shame on him. Did he think to himself, wow, really? I can run with this?
Who knows?
I don't know, yeah.
You never know with the business.
Walter might not have been too bright. It did say here that he was a clever inventor.
His business acumen might have been off.
Yeah, he sounds like, well, I have to say, if you're a nice person, you're probably not in business.
Oh, thanks. I'm in business.
No, but you own a business. Yeah, but I mean...
No, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, I couldn't be a used car salesman.
Sure.
I not to say that they're mean people. I can't say to people, this when I know it doesn't cost... The value of this thing isn't what I'm saying. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it, everyone. Oh, pick.
Which one's the worst?
What's our criteria for worst? Something we use the least, something we could do... Yeah, maybe the thing that we could do without? So if it was never invented, like all these things we use... So if we pick the thing we can't be without, means it's the best of the best. So that wouldn't make sense.
Which one's the worst? These are all the best. What's the worst invention out of these best?
Okay, yeah. I'm overthinking it. Sorry. I think the worst one. I have my pick.
Me too.
Mine's Teflon, and the reason being is because that's what I was trying to get to a criteria. If one of these inventions didn't exist, that's what I meant to say. If one of these inventions didn't exist, could I live my life okay without it? And I would find Teflon is something I could live without. Just I have a sticky pan. I might need to scrub a little bit more.
I'll agree with you on the Teflon.
I use everything else. Post-it notes.
I don't use Teflon.
Yeah, I do. I see things I kind of do use it, but I feel like
I'm sure that I do on something, or cookware is mainly stainless steel.
Yeah.
Just use a lot of butter.
Post-it notes we use. Safety glass we definitely need. Microwave ovens, yes. Plastic, of course. I mean, what?
Super glue, sure. All the time. Stainless steel every day.
Yeah. Bubble wrap, yeah. Cling wrap, of course. Safety pins, like you need safety pins. Walter. There's no way, Walter
Hunt.
So yeah, there you go. Today, the worst of the best is Teflon.
I remember safety pins were used for a bit to show that you're a safe person.
Yeah.
They were regular Walter Hunts. He didn't want anybody to get hurt.
That's right, Walter Hunt. May his name never be forgotten.
Yes. Tell him to your children, folks.
So remember, in front of every silver lining, there's a cloud, and we're here to help you find it. Thanks for listening. Remember to review us on iTunes. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. All of our podcast episodes, if you're a first-time listener, they're available on every podcast app. If you have a smart device, and I can't imagine you don't, it's an iPhone, Android phone, any kind of smartphone, pad, just look for podcast feeds, and we're on there. Worst of the best podcast. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Wrong mouse. Thanks, everybody. Bye. We're leaving. That's crazy. What a fun little surprise. I didn't read that one.